Welcome, children, to the seventh class, fourth lesson, Ocean and Fishing. So, today we are going to learn about ocean and fishing. And you all know, children, the Earth is known as a watery planet, and it is the only planet which contains water in abundance. And 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by ocean and seas. So, oceans are huge bodies of water generally separated by continents, and seas are partly smaller to ocean, and every sea will join into the ocean. And there are many uses of ocean. The ocean it contains several mineral salt dissolved in it, and they are the main source of rainfall, and oceans are of storehouse of fishes and other seafood, and they provide us a national highway. So we are having many uses of ocean. Now you all know what is an ocean, and you all know that we are having five oceans, and Pacific is the deepest ocean, and we find different types of fishes in it. Now, what is this lesson talking about? So, in this lesson, it is talking about oceans and Bhavanapadu. Now, first part is about oceans. In oceans, you will learn that ocean water is not standing still and it is moving. So, we are having different movements in the oceans. We are having waves, currents, and tides. And the next topic you will learn is ocean relief. See, the bed of the ocean, below the water, we are having a floor, and it contains continental slope, trenches, and deep plains. And in the second part, we will go to the village, and we will see the lives of the fishermen, how they are catching the fishes and how they are selling it, what are the nets, what are the boats they are using. And so, in this lesson, when we complete, what do you know? You will know what is an ocean and the ocean relief, the movements in it, and the fishing, how they are, what are the different types of boats used by the fishermen. Now, it is a map where you can see Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, and near the poles you are having Arctic, and near the South Pole you are having Antarctic Ocean. Now, what is ocean? Ocean is a large water body, and it is generally separated by continents, and ocean water is salty. As I told you, children, in an ocean you are seeing the water, and did you imagine if you go down how the bed is or how the floor is? So today we will learn the how the bottom of the ocean is. The floor of the ocean is just like the surface of the earth, and the bottom of the sea is not a flat surface. On earth, how we are having hills, mountain, plains, and plateaus. In the same way, below the ocean, we are having hills, mountains, plateaus, plains, and trenches. And do you know the trenches on the ocean floor are so deep that even if Mount Everest was placed in them, it could get drowned completely. So, at the ocean bed, we are having continental shelf, continental slope, trenches, deep sea plain. Now, when the ocean near the sea coast, as we go to some kilometers, we get continental shelf in the ocean, and afterwards you get the continental slope. And this is a place where we find fishes. And generally, fishermen to catch fishes they come to this continental slope. Again, if you go travel to some kilometers in the ocean, you will find trenches and deep sea plains. Now, this is a picture. It is showing you about Bay of Bengal, Indian and Arabian Sea, and you can see the floor how it is. Yes, You can see there is a change. At some places you are finding blue, and some places you are finding very dark blue. So in this way you can identify the hills, the plains, and the trenches which we find under the Arabian Sea, the Bay of Bengal, and the Indian Ocean. I told you that the ocean water is not standing still and it is moving. So we are having three different movement in it. We are having waves, currents, and tides. So the first movement is waves. Now waves, when the water on the surface of the ocean rise and fall, they are called as waves. And these waves are formed when wind is generally blowing on the ocean. And when the wind is fast, the bigger will be the waves. And the next movement which we find is currents. Now you know that the water is flowing in a stream and it will be flowing from one ocean to another ocean. So the water which is in Atlantic Ocean, it will travel to the Arctic, again go to the Pacific, again come to the Indian Ocean. So in the ocean, the water will move from one part to another part in a big stream. And when the stream is flowing constantly in a definite direction on the surface of the ocean, they are called as currents. And we are having two types of currents, the warm current and the cold current. And where do we find this warm current? Means near the equator. You all know that equator is hot, so we find the warm current, and this warm current from the equator it will travel to the north pole and to the south pole. And we find cold currents near the poles, and it is very cold, and that current, cold current from the poles, it will be coming to the equator. And the last third movement is tides. The tides are the rhythmic rise and fall in the level of the water in the ocean every day. Now, if you go and if you are getting a chance to go and observe the ocean, you will see that the water is not same. Sometimes the water is going high, sometimes it is going low. So we are having different movement in it. We are having low tide and we are having high tides. Okay, and when it is high tide, the water will come out to the coast for some distance, and when we are having low tide, you will observe the water is moved back from the land. And these tides are very useful to the fishermen, and fishermen are generally waiting for the high tide so that they can go into the ocean. Okay children, thank you, and we will be meet you in the next session.